Mhm.
In the building. And what's going on, fellas? We got Kiddo Valentine in the building.
That's
We got
right.
my boy Just Brian making his return. Brian, do you got anything to say to the people who was cooking your microphone in that video?
Oh man, they was actually cooking my mic in that video.
Yeah, bro. Some people was cooking your mic in that
Listen,
video.
man, I was doing some real life stuff, bro. One of the most
Real
stressful
life.
weeks of my life. So, I'm sorry that I had a whack mic, but we're back with one of the expensive mics. So
Oh, man,
we're
the
here.
mic was fine. The mic was fine.
Yeah.
People are just haters. What up, Taco
Yeah.
Kid in the building? Shout out to Taco Kid who has
Yo,
a
Taco
member.
Kid.
I see the symbol next to your name. But fellas, we got a lot of wrestling stuff going on right now, as we do every week. Where should we start? You know what? Let's start with the WWE draft, the most brutal WWE draft in history. Kiddo, you sat through that. What do I even call it? Tragedy, travesty.
Mhm.
The
Oh man.
the garbage truck on fire. What did you think about it?
I mean, the draft seems like a good name for it because it did feel like a draft of wind, dust, or a gust of wind. I think that's what you call it. And it quickly just passed away and changed absolutely nothing. That was tough. That was the second worst draft I've seen, I think, because last year was maybe even worse. And like, I guess I want to say that it didn't surprise me because Triple H has done this before, and this is the second time that I'm sad about it, but I'm not disappointed about it again because, like, again, last year it was the exact same thing. Maybe it was a little better because, like, you didn't have Roman Reigns saying, "Oh, I'm out of the draft now. I don't want to do it." But that was probably the case. I have to go back and look. But yeah, both years it's been underwhelming. This is just one of those things. I feel like we're gonna get it fixed 5 years later, or maybe 5 years is too much. But a year or two later, when Triple H is more comfortable and he's done with fixing other bigger things. But yeah, like this was underwhelming simply because even with a tiniest bit of creativity, you could have made this more fun, regardless if it was important or not, which it wasn't. You could have made it fun, and they didn't even do that. So it's like it's a tough time to be a WWE fan right now. Like if you want to watch a draft.
Yeah. And I will say, I would say I was disappointed because we look at WrestleMania week, they were saying like, oh, this is the new era. This is the Triple H era. Things are going to be different. Things are going to be better. And then they put on a draft like this where pretty much nobody moved. Now, I saw some people saying like, oh, come on, you guys are complaining. This person moved, that person moved.
I mean, we had Stephanie, the MILF. Oh my goodness. I mean, sorry. Go on.
No, man, that was my favorite part. You know, we did get legends come back and present the people who were moving back and forth.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good thing about it. That's where they tried to make it fun, but you got to deliver at the roots too. And I just feel like they did not. I don't feel like any of these moves were consequential. You keep the champions on their show. Okay, the champions are going to be locked into their shows. Roman Reigns is not participating. You're making too many excuses to not move these big names, and I just thought that really hurt the brand. Brian, you ducked the brand, the draft.
The brand.
Yeah.
You ducked the draft. So did you go back and look at everything? Did you catch up?
I'll be honest, I didn't go back and look at everything. I stuck with the highlights. I already had heard enough slander on it that I was like, yeah, man, I probably didn't miss out on nothing. And honestly, I didn't do it on purpose. It was just that family and everything, it was just really tough to catch it. So when I was looking at the draft picks and I looked at the roster, I did see that a lot of faces went, like there were about like 18 or 19 faces that switched brands, but like the main guys stayed where they're supposed to be at. There wasn't really like those stars that switched brands. So that to me was the only thing that had me a little bit like, I mean, I guess that's where we are. But yeah, I mean, I heard it was disappointing in its own, and I'm not gonna sit here and dispute it because the picks with the big stars, they stayed where they were at. So there was nothing really like intriguing. Like, I don't know, man. I personally missed the draft from back then where, you know, it was just a little bit more surprising and stuff like that. I saw the other day somebody posted John Cena being drafted to SmackDown and then being drafted to Raw the same night. And I remember watching that episode. And stuff like that is like what I personally like to see. Like, I don't know. I feel like the draft has gotten a little bit lame lately, but just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think back then they didn't tell the wrestlers where they were going.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe.
JR got drafted and he didn't know or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, kiddo.
I was just gonna say back then the John Cena drafting was like considered bad, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Like seeing all these years later, we want that. Like, okay, give us the bad thing at least.
I think it's more like nostalgia is a big thing. Like and it happens a lot with video games. Like there's like these moments that you think that were really good when you look at it like 10 years later, but back in the moment, it was like you thought it was garbage at the time. Like it's just a really tough situation because the draft was supposed to be like the shakeup, and it's like they paused all the storylines, and Backlash just feels like I guess like poorly built pay-per-view because it's just felt like it was just matches on matches thrown on. And I mean, for the record, there's only 5 matches on Backlash, which is surprising in its own. So that too is really surprising. So I honestly thought them making the draft feel important would have sort of justified what's been going on the last month, but obviously this is where we are now. So hopefully they can turn things back on because the draft was just bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, kiddo.
It just seems like they're on an official break. And by the way, the John Cena thing, I said it was bad. Yeah, it's bad, in standing with other draft nights, but it's way better than this. The shakeup was way better than this, and we hated the shakeup even more than the John Cena thing. They could have at least worn the T-shirts. They could have at least had one match say, "Oh, if this guy wins, he's gonna be able to get SmackDown a pick," or I don't know. Like, if this guy wins, he's going to go to SmackDown and he's going to be able to challenge for a championship week 1. Anything. Where's the entertainment part? Man, this is WWE. They forgot the E part. So again, I'm just thinking that they're literally on a break right now. Like, all the writers are going to the Bahamas. They're chilling right now, and they just, are keeping up appearances. That's just what it seems like.
Yeah.
Me.
I mean,
it's
right
the
now,
post-WrestleMania break.
This is what it is. And I think what's really hurting them too is the fact that a lot of their big stars are out, whether it's due to a break or an injury, and I think right now they're really lacking because, as we've agreed before, they're big stars, like they don't really have that many, and a lot of those are out. We're talking about Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, so they're I think they're struggling in terms of stars at this very moment. I think that the shows, I mean, they're the same, but I think right now they're missing those faces that could do a little bit more things. Even CM Punk, I mean, he's been around, but he's one of their bigger stars, and unfortunately, he's been injured. So at least he's showing face though, because the Drew and CM Punk feud, I'm actually enjoying it. I'll be honest. I think right now that's probably the best feud going on in WWE right now.
Oh, that is terrible. That is.
I wouldn't say that, man. I wouldn't say that. Brad, it's been good. It's been good for CM Punk being injured. I think they've done a great job at building that up.
And guess what?
Just hating CM Punk. Don't worry.
Now Drew McIntyre is injured too.
Yeah, that's another. And Dominic is injured too. There's a lot of injuries, man.
It's a lot of really injuries going on. Rhea Ripley injured, but she was
like the arm.
in the tattoo parlor. Oh yeah, you're right. It's a lot of arms getting tore up. A lot of arms getting tore up.
Everyone's in slings.
As far as like the order everybody was getting drafted in, I liked some of it. Not a lot of it though. Like I like Bianca Belair being picked number 1. I thought that was cool. But why was Jey Uso picked at number 1 for Raw? You will get to that. We'll get to that. But I mean, Drew McIntyre being drafted so far down the card on SmackDown. I mean, I don't like CM Punk, but even him, just the picks didn't make sense at all on this.
Drew went to SmackDown?
Jey Uso?
That's on Raw.
Okay.
They drafted him like late in the show, so it was crazy.
It's crazier to think about when you look at it because CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is the World Heavyweight Championship feud, and I think eventually we will get them feuding for that title too, instead of Jey and whoever else was picked. So yeah, I don't know. I think I just see this as WWE saying these are the guys that we're focused on right now in storyline, and so we're just picking them in that order. It just none of it made sense to me. The order was like I've given up on it immediately, honestly. Like you have CM Punk, no disrespect to Miss Bianca Belair, for example, but you have someone like CM Punk, and then he's like on Raw on second round. It's like, okay, and whatever.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair is a bigger star than CM Punk. Let's just keep it
No,
100.
she's not, bro. I think
Just
it's
keep
more
it
of
150.
they trying to.
Why? Because she's a woman?
Nah,
Is that what you're saying, Brian?
I mean, bro, she's not moving the needle like CM Punk is, sir. But
she is, bro. She is.
I think the reason why they chose Bianca is, she's the biggest star of the women's division, so I think it was more just to establish that, in my opinion. But I see what you're saying, though, Kid.
That's rough too. Because do y'all see what happened? They posted that the King of the Ring poster with all of the champions on there except Bayley.
Yep.
Yeah, Bayley must have murdered a kitten or something. They hate her every time.
Yeah, man, they've been cooking her. But we'll get back to Backlash. We will be doing predictions of the card, talking about all the matches. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic of the night. And that is...
Before we move on, I know you're driving, but I want to take over the wheel.
Take the wheel.
Just a second. Now, we're Kissthering, you know what I mean? And I think we should be a little different. Everybody's crapping on this draft, and rightfully so, let's be honest here. But I want to ask you guys a question. Give me one thing that you liked about this draft. Instead of, let's be a little bit more positive today. Just one thing you liked about the draft. Yeah.
I liked Bianca Belair being picked number 1 because I think she is a big star, beautiful woman, and I love the way they present her. So I thought that was pretty big, and it was a good look for her.
Fair enough. For me, it's hard to say because I didn't watch it.
One thing. There's got to be one thing.
Got to be one. About the clips, the highlights.
Well, this is WWE Draft 2024, everybody.
Yeah, I'll be honest, bro.
I'll give you some time. To think.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. I got you right now.
I think mine would be Braun Strowman returning. It's nice to see him.
Fire.
And he looks like a giant again instead of Santa's little helper with the red pants. He's dressed in all black. But he has this weird hair now, like John Cena, but longer hair. It's kind of weird. Like, he looks weird. I don't know why he grew it back or why he tried to grow it back. Come to Turkey. That's all I'm trying to say. Come to Turkey. We got you fixed. But yeah, Strowman being back, I'm happy about that, man. That was pretty cool. Brian, have you got something now?
Brian, do you have something?
I like the fact that Stephanie McMahon returned.
There you go.
Okay, all right. I'm with you.
Last McMahon, by the way, that remains.
Yeah,
Thanks
you're right.
Triple H. You know what I mean?
Triple H.
Thank God for that Triple H.
I must agree.
But do y'all think Shane McMahon will make a return? Because he didn't really do anything.
Shane is staying far away. He don't need WWE in my opinion.
Come on, bro. Shane McMahon is a star.
No.
Y'all remember when he came back with the lockbox, the pop? He rocked the building.
And then he tore his ACL 2 minutes later.
I mean, hey, people tear their ACLs all the time. I mean, what could you say? Triple H broke his too, or tore his too.
I'm looking up Shane right now. It looks like he's still signed to WWE. He's just not doing nothing for him.
Yeah?
I think he might be back.
I think one day, yeah.
Yeah. What would he do though? Like he did the GM thing far too long. He even did a whole bunch of wrestling things too. More so than in the 90s.
I don't think they need him.
I think he'll probably just do like a run-in or something like that. But here comes the money. We get the Death Rebel version of it. Come on, y'all.
Oh boy.
What would be the Death Rebel version? That'd be crazy.
Here comes the money. Some AI stuff like that. All right, y'all. So AEW has been putting on some bangers for the last 2 weeks. Last week, I think, was probably the best ending we ever saw in the Dynamite because Tony Khan finally got his butt whooped. We'll just say that. Meltzer driver and Jack Perry hit him in the ribs with the microphone. One thing I will say about that, though, is, you know what? I understand the next day he had to go to the draft. That was cool. But him being seen around, dancing with the neck brace on and stuff, I was like, bro, you got to go away when something like that happens. You do the draft show because you have to, but after that, you got to go away. I do like the fact that he wasn't on Dynamite at least, but they shouldn't even showed him. They should have said Tony Khan, after the draft, he had whatever else, and he had to go to the hospital. Now he's being closely monitored by the medical facility, whatever they want to say.
Right,
but, I mean, he just looks fine, just sitting at the desk doing his work. I think it should have kind of just threw him under the bus and kept moving. But now we see Young Bucks kind of are running AEW Dynamite. And last night, I think they put on a banger of a show. Kiddo, you saw the whole show. What did you think about it?
Man, I agree. I mean, it was one of the better shows that AEW has done in a long while because it had storylines, and AEW always had storylines, but too many, just like they have too many titles, and none of them mattered. But these ones I thought were cool. Like the promos were substantial. They again set up the main event angle throughout the show. You know, we saw snippets of segments, some backstage interviews, some backstage segments as well. And like it all led to the main event. They constantly reminded us of that we were going to see Kenny Omega. And what I liked about that is that I think they only reminded us of Kenny Omega, and usually they would say, we have Kenny Omega, we have this, we have that, and they tell us the entire show. Instead of that, they just told us the main event, and the rest of what was to come, it was a surprise. So that's another nice way to keep you watching, because if you don't know everything that's going to come out, you might say, maybe the next segment will be cool, let me check it out for a second. At least you'll stay tuned in more. And the main event segment, like, none of these are perfect, man. If you look at some, the logical aspects, you're gonna see a lot of wrong in many storylines, or you'll nitpick stuff. But again, it's just been way more entertaining because we have some good stories that seem to be continuing long term, that are meaningful, that are substantial. Like even the Orange Cassidy storyline, where one of his best friends is now permanently gone from the roster, at least as far as we know. And so far, maybe he'll return, who knows. But it does seem likely to me that Chuck Taylor might, retire from wrestling. I mean, he wasn't doing it too much anyways in the past couple of years. So, but yeah, that's cool. Like, that's something cool. The Trent Beretta thing, it's been going on for close to a month now, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a good thing for AEW, because nowadays they would just do that and they forget about it. And they're not forgetting about everything right now. Kenny Omega returning, being serious, being kind of like how he was presented in New Japan Pro Wrestling, right after he said, I would like to be presented more like Roman Reigns. I think he kicks ass. I loved it. His promo was nice. What happened after was nice. Besides the Young Bucks coming out there and saying, guys, calm down, and doing the knee, which I hate, because they do it every single time. It's like the same thing as breeding to them. Other than that, though, it was a good show. It was ever since Dynasty, I think they're doing a couple of things right, and hopefully they continue to do this forever. And eventually, I think, what do you call it? Fortune will smile upon them.
Yes. Like you said, and Jay Barnacle said in the chat, usually Kenny Omega is not good when he's doing his promos, because I feel like he's trying to do a promo or something, and it just doesn't come off well. Last night he went in that ring and it feels like he was just trying to be himself, and it came off very well. I think this was the best promo I ever saw him cut, definitely in AEW. And then Okada coming out, standing, face to face with him. It's going to give a lot of people throwbacks to the first, 6-7 star match. So if they're going to do this in AEW, I think they're going to tear it up again. And that is one I'm excited to see. But one thing you didn't mention was something else that I was very excited about on the show. Swerve went in there and he cut a decent promo, and Christian came out. And I think this is the perfect feud for him. Now, I was worried about it when I first heard, because I thought it was just going to be no story. It's Swerve versus Christian at, what's the next pay-per-view? Double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
Yeah. I thought it Swerve Christian, double or nothing. Enjoy the match. But no, they actually planted seeds here, told a story. Christian acted like he was going to talk to him. Boop! Hit him with the microphone. They beat him down, and then they tied it back to when Swerve Strickland attacked Nick Wayne. So I love AEW getting back into their bag with the storytelling. I think that's the most important thing, because even when they weren't telling stories, they were still putting on banger matches. But that storytelling is an important piece, and I feel like they're getting back to it. Brian, did you have a chance to check out the show? I know you were traveling back home.
Yeah, I checked out some stuff. I really do like Christian Cage being put in the title picture. I think that he is the perfect feud for Swerve, so I think that that's a huge W. I like what they did with Kenny Omega. It makes me think he is closer than we think. The fact that he was in there taking bumps and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that Kenny is on his way back and recovering, because there's a lot for us to see there with Kenny and Okada, and then you have the Elite. Like, there's just a whole big storyline there that I would really, really, really like to see It almost it I just hope that Kenny can come back at some point, because I don't see why put him on TV and have him get attacked if he's not actually ready to come back. Even if it takes him at least a month or something just to recover in kayfabe, it would help. So I'm hoping that this all works out, because they're doing really well with this storyline. They just can't let it drop flat, because I think right now they have the people's attention, but they really have to continue pushing through with this one and keep doing things like this.
Yeah. But shout out to Captain XL Swiss Cake Roll in the chat. Says, hey, Kenny, what's good? You watched that Sky Blue match? You know what? I actually didn't see it. I saw some clips. I got home a bit late and missed it. But I saw some things that were going around and people were kind of poking fun at it because Willow went to hit her with the chair. She put her hands up and it didn't even get close to her face and she dropped. Things like that. Got to kind of tighten up the bolts. But I mean, it's not their fault. These girls are they're not super experienced. I think Sky Blue was like an independent wrestler. She got a good response from the crowd because she had that thing on her. And then they brought her right in. And, they've been giving her some support ever since. And I think she's getting better and better. She's not as generic as she was when she first came in, just Sky Blue. They gave her like that little dark edge. And I think that's really working for her. So shout out to Sky Blue. Love to see her improving, and love to watch her improve as well. Now we had Adam Copeland. That's another angle. We had angle after angle after angle last night, and that's what I really love. Something's going on with Adam Copeland.
Crazy.
It looks like he's been kind of, shaken up here in the last few encounters with the House of Black.
Yeah.
What'd you say? He's getting what?
He's getting too old. He's an old man. He's losing it.
Man, he's getting poisoned like Julia Hart did. You saw Malachi Black told him, yo, hit Buddy Murphy, hit him. Buddy Matthews was like, hit me. And they were kind of playing it up like Edge was kind of losing his mind. So do you think we get Judgment Day Adam Copeland in AEW, kiddo?
I think you might be closer to that than you might expect. I think they're going to really tease it, and we're definitely going to see him come like 99% close to... Yeah, he's definitely coming 99% close to being that supernatural Adam Copeland that we just missed in WWE. It was like darkening the ring, doing all the teleportation, the Undertaker stuff, and then suddenly stopped doing it. Now, I don't know if Edge was advocating for all that stuff, or was it WWE? Because I do remember stories like, oh, Edge hated doing that, so he immediately changed up his gimmick or something like that. But at the same time, I heard stories of like the reason why they stopped making Edge do those supernatural things is because at the time WWE didn't have any baby faces and Edge was a heel, so they turned him baby face.
That's exactly why.
So assuming that the Mr. Edge was behind all those supernatural ideas, it's more than likely that this is not going to be just a tease. Like, he might just join this group. And honestly, I think it's for the better, because Adam Copeland right now is just Adam Copeland. He has the nice music, but that's about it right now.
They need him.
Super vanilla.
I think they need each other. I'll be honest.
There you go. There you go. That's a good
I think it would be a great addition to the House of Black, and I think they need a star like Adam Copeland to kind of put them over. Like, I don't know. I really think that it can work out for both of them. Because I really like the Judgment Day version of Edge. I really did. So I think that if they can pull something off with House of Black and Adam Copeland, I think it would be great for their careers more than his, because at this point he's established. It doesn't really matter what he does, but I think he can help them get a little bit over and really do what they have to do.
See, I love that, because this is another storyline that you can do long term. You don't have to do it next week.
Yeah.
You can just slowly build that up. Plus, they're now building something with Kyle O'Reilly. So maybe his heel turn and supernatural stuff, Kyle O'Reilly will be the victim eventually that starts everything, So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like the fact that throughout the entire show, they're just moving stories little by little, planting seeds for future conflicts. This is,
Yeah. Good stuff. That's what I love in wrestling most, is when they are telling these stories and it's not just long match after long match. Just not for me. But let's see how y'all. So Mercedes Moné, did we see her on Dynamite last night?
Oh boy, I saw Eric Bischoff cooking her.
Yeah. But I think she's injured. I think that's why she hasn't been in the ring yet. I just
Right.
think she's not
Nah,
cleared yet.
he was just saying more like it wasn't because he was actually praising her in-ring ability. He was like, she's great, which we all know she's good in the ring. But he was like, every time she talks, man, her stock drops by 10%.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
it's,
People were actually on X praising Deonna Purrazzo, saying she was better than Mercedes Moné. Like she was more impressive in AEW so far than Mercedes has been.
See, the thing with Mercedes is, man, is that, it's cool to value yourself at whatever you value yourself at, especially when somebody pays you that, which AEW obviously gave in and did that. I just think that when you do that, like, you gotta exceed those expectations, man. You're asking $4 or $5 million as a woman, which nothing wrong with it at all. But historically, we know that the men draw more than the women do, and there's not many men getting paid $4 to $5 million, and that's just what it is. When you're asking for that, I expect you to be that good on the mic. I expect you to be that good in the ring, and unfortunately, she doesn't deliver on the mic. WWE did a great job with hiding that. And
No, they
AEW,
didn't.
they
No,
kind of,
no, no, no.
bro,
Mm-mm.
here they did not
That's
give her
when
a
we
mic
found
for
out
10
she was
minutes.
bad.
They didn't give her a mic for 10 minutes. That's my point. AEW does that, and that's why she looks this way.
But that's her fault. I'm sure she got stuff written in her contract like, I want to be presented in this way. I want this much time. I want to be able to do this and be able to do that. Now, I don't blame her for asking for that money if she feels like she's worth it. Obviously, she's right if AEW paid it to her.
There you
So
go.
I don't blame her.
No, and I'm just saying, like, you got to do better than what you're doing right now. I get it. You cannot wrestle.
Bro,
That's
you paid
completely
me.
understandable. But
You paid me this money to bring you that package I built in WWE. This is that package I gave them. So she's giving them exactly what we've seen before. So
no, and I'm not
Well, we-
disagreeing. What I'm saying is, though, I'm like I said, WWE did not give her 10 minutes of promo time. She does not need that much promo time, bro. When, like, they let her talk for like 3-4 consecutive minutes, it's like, bro, we do not need this much from you. That's why people are criticizing her, because she can't cut a promo.
right, and that's on her. But still, the bag she got is what she felt like she was worth, and she got it. Because Brian, let's say you went to work tomorrow and your job said, you know what, Brian, you've been cooking, bro. We're gonna give you a raise. You're gonna get $50,000 more per year. Would you try to perform extra or keep doing what you're doing?
I mean, yeah, you got a good point.
I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
But that's
paid me
probably on
this money.
AEW though, because AEW should also
There you
like
go.
let her
On them.
know, like, hey,
There you go. You guys finally realized.
You know?
They're the stupid
Exactly.
ones that didn't watch what she did in a WWE. They are even more stupid that they didn't realize what kind of a wrestler or what her talents were when she left for New Japan. Like, it was so obvious. She pretty much exposed herself to anybody who somehow didn't realize what she was, in the WWE, because WWE did a lot, like you said, Brian, to really play to her strengths. I mean, you look at her stuff in New Japan, her matches or promos, it's the same thing we're seeing in AEW. It doesn't come as a surprise to me. It doesn't come as a surprise to me that AEW, or Tony Khan specifically, bit the bait, basically, and paid her all that money. So, I mean, good
It's
luck.
on him.
Good luck.
I'll be honest, man. I know she got paid. I think financially for her, obviously the best decision was AEW. But I think career-wise, she would have been better off in WWE. That's just me, though. That's just based on what she already did in WWE and what they could have done with this sort of new. It's not a new persona, but just the way she's presenting herself now, definitely just a little bit different than what she was doing as Sasha Banks.
But do you
just a
not
little
think
bit.
this is her cashing out, basically? Oh, I got it still. Bunch of clout. Let me turn that into as much money as possible. Be as comfortable as possible.
I think so. I think this is her cashing out before going back to WWE. I think I think this is her saying, "Let me get my bag now," because WWE ain't never gonna pay me this much. So
Bingo.
Hey, I could even see like Triple A's being like, "Bruh, shit, that's how much they." Sorry, that's how much they offered you.
Okay.
Go ahead and take it. I'll see you in 4 or 5 years whenever that contract is done. Hey man, it's just the best thing to do, bro, from a business standpoint,
Yeah, that's what Chris Jericho said happened with Vince McMahon. He said, "Yo, you mind if I go to AEW? They're gonna pay me this much." He's like, "All right, go ahead." And then he said, like a few weeks later or something, he said, "Yo, you didn't sign that contract yet, did you?" He said, "Yes, I did." It was too late. So, but let's be real. Mercedes Moné is not Chris Jericho, but I think she made the best decision. She went to AEW, got that bag. If she is concerned about her legacy when she's finished, she can go back to WWE and pick it up with Bayley or whoever if Bayley's still over there. Because the way they treat Bayley, I don't know if her contract's about to expire or what's going on, but if I was her, I'm up out of there too.
I mean, they gave her WrestleMania moment. It's just that she's not getting the promo that you'd like as a women's champion on the marketing team. She's not being presented like the champion. They gave her WrestleMania moment, but like I said, or like how we agree, is she's just not being presented as a champ.
That's crazy to me because she's one of the best women's wrestlers ever in the ring, and she can cut the best promo. Certainly way better than Becky Lynch or even Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte is a great heel promo, but Becky can just do not Becky. Bayley can do both heel, babyface, pretty fun, like perfectly almost for where she needs to be. And I don't think this is a recent thing, to be honest with you. Like ever since she went up to the main roster, I feel like she just had this curse. And she's always in the background, like, well, Becky gets all these opportunities. I guess her lucky break was that Nia Jax moment.
Yeah.
And Charlotte, she's a Flair. And they just liked Sasha Banks for whatever reason a lot. But Bayley has always been one of the best. And like recently, you look at her storyline video, Sky, it was sidelined all the time. So they did like 2 weeks of turns. And then for 4 weeks, a month, we didn't see anything of the storyline. Like when her match was going on, WWE, announced 10 people being released. So her match got overshadowed on SmackDown. And right now they're doing this. It just feels like, I don't know what Bayley has done, but someone has always hated her backstage, I guess. And
that's what it seems like.
Yeah,
there's just way too many things happening.
Yeah, I do agree. But just to Kenny's point, she is under contract for many years now. I don't know how many years exactly, but they did announce this back at the end of 2023. So she's not going anywhere anytime soon. And
so they got her.
Yeah, they got her. So
what the hell?
I mean, hey man, it is what it is with Bayley. It's unfortunate because obviously she's a star and she's a champion, and you keep putting these women who are stars, but they're not champions. And I think that's where it all comes in at. With Jade and Bianca. I don't know if it's the fact that Jade and Bianca maybe just have a bigger household name. That could be part of it too. But hey, bro, you can make space for one more person on that poster. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it all comes down in, and that's where it looks odd.
I think it had to be intentional. Somebody said, "Don't put Bayley on there. Let's just,
Yeah, but they did it for Mania at one point too. I'm like, what is
they
going
put
on?
Bianca on there instead of Bayley.
And her storyline with Io at one point was one of the most intriguing ones. You could argue that it was the second best storyline behind the final boss, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes thing. Like that storyline was really good, and then they kind of cooled it down like from 1 week to the other.
Yeah.
So
I don't hate this though. Keep on doing this so more people notice it, and then she can become another Becky or a Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
For sure. But so with AEW, we just recently got the announcement. Well, not really announcement. The story came out that MJF's injury was worse than people expected it to be. Looks like he just recently underwent surgery on the hairline and the shoulder. So he's going to be out for a while. Adam Cole jumped out of the wheelchair right before we heard this news. So looks like Adam Cole is getting close to return, but MJF's return is further away. Brian, I don't know if we heard your opinion on this yet. What do you think? Like, what do we do? Let's say Adam Cole is ready tomorrow. What do we do? Man. Do we wait on MJF? Do we hang on that story?
Not at all. You don't wait, in my opinion. I mean, you put Adam Cole out there whenever he's ready. I think the MJF thing, I don't want to say forget about it because I'm a big story guy, but at this rate, bro, forget about it. I mean, it fell completely flat. Just get it up out of there. I think Adam Cole, you can put him in a feud against, Adam Copeland. It looks like he's doing his own thing at this point, but I said for him, you can put him in there for the TNT title. I don't know. Do something with him, bro. I really don't know how you can fit Adam Cole in there right now. Maybe the Wardlow for just to get it, going, because I think Wardlow is done with AEW.
Yeah.
That's all I can really see them doing right now. I don't know where you throw Adam Cole. Like, you put Adam Cole does not fit in any equation in any AEW storyline right at this moment. Like, they got to make something happen, unless it's Wardlow. That's pretty much the only person I can think of at this point.
I think it's got to be Wardlow, and you wait until somebody else frees up while you're doing that Wardlow feud, and then you move Adam Cole on. And if MJF really is out until around December, November, then maybe you can link those two back up then, because MJF out of sight, out of mind. When he comes back, he can pop up like a ghost on Adam Cole, and you can continue that story from there. Even if he comes out with the devil mask on, remember what you did to me, I'm back, and here, this is where we are right now. But I think for now, whenever Adam Cole gets ready, he's just got to move on.
There you go. I mean, yeah, but what do you do with him? I think Vince McMahon was right. I've been saying this for a couple of years now. Make him a manager, I guess. Well, he is a manager now. So, look, I'm scared that, first of all, the Wardlow problem, that's the only storyline, the only thing he's got going. But hey, there's a couple of good wrestlers in AEW, more than a couple. So you can go ahead and come up with a new story. And here's the thing. This is a good thing and a bad thing. This brother has been injured, man. Ever since he came to this company, I feel like he's just been injured 90% of the time, 95% of the time, let's be honest here. First, he had that injury with Okada. Now, jumping off, it's a freak accident or whatever it is. But the fact is, he's been out, not wrestling, for way longer than anybody would like to admit. And so that means that he didn't feud with too many people. So there's more original or, exciting to see matches waiting for Adam Cole, that's for sure. But then, who's to say that he's not another CM Punk or a Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, where he won't get injured again in his next return, in his, let's say, third, fifth match, or the next big pay-per-view match. Like, who's to say that, honestly? Especially because he himself said it, like, I love Twitch more. I want to do Twitch. I started off wanting to become a professional wrestler. Now I want to become a Twitch streamer. Okay, bro. But then, wrestling is a vanity business. A lot of people talked about him being really skinny. And
that's why.
I mean, yeah.
Day.
Unfortunate. It is.
Pump iron, bro. Get off Twitch. Pump iron on Twitch or something.
I know. So that's a problem for sure. Like, at least eat a lot. So you have a lot of, what do you call that?
Protein for muscles?
Yeah, the bad thing, the fat. You have a lot of fat. So when you bump, you're safer. You know what I mean? At least have more fat. You know what I mean? But no, he was really skinny. And maybe he wasn't even training that much. And when you don't train in any sport, that is a recipe for pretty good injury. You'll get injured if you don't train constantly. So, I mean, we're going to have to see. Like, looking at him right now, he's just wearing this full attire, t-shirt, leather jacket. So we don't have any idea like how he looks without the t-shirt. Yeah. Is he in shape again? No clue. Yeah, obviously. Actually, now that we think about it, yeah, he can't even stand up. Yeah, so just barely able to walk.
Let's sit down. Do some upper body stuff while you can. Don't even worry about leg day.
I mean, the thing with Adam Cole is, though, like, yeah, he's skinny and everything. I just think that in this day and age, I don't think, like, the wrestling body matters as much anymore. Like, I feel like a lot of guys have gotten away with it with just being slim or just slightly toned up. I like, and I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I feel like he should bulk up at least a little bit because, hey, bro, I can only imagine when he takes bumps, he probably feels them 10 times harder than the average wrestler, So
I mean, aesthetically.
Yeah. I mean, but from an aesthetic standpoint, where you're talking about from looking at a wrestler, like, for example, like Brian Cage is the first person that comes to mind. Like, he looks like a huge wrestler, like from back in the day. Like, nowadays, it's like you can get away with being skinny or whatever you're doing. It's just a different time.
But you can get away with it, but should you? Look at The Rock. The Rock was out there in his draws at WrestleMania looking like a buff wrestler. These days, you don't get that from like the current guys on the roster.
You don't
Pissing in water bottles. The Rock is insane. I love him. He carried the entire company like when he returned. So there's a reason for that. Look, I don't know. You're watching a Hollywood movie about like a professional fighter, and the guy looks like a stick. It's just the way it is. It's just a part you got to play. It's a Hollywood movie, and you're supposed to play a badass-looking guy. You know what I mean? I get you, Brian, and I think like a guy that shares a name with you, Bryan Danielson, like he's not the most muscular guy at all, but he does have some muscle, and he is in shape. Like that's perfect for him, and he with his style and with his like facial expressions and everything, he gets away with it. But people notice with Adam Cole, and there is a reason for that. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for switching to me.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think I think as a wrestler, you got to be at least the size of Cody Rhodes. Now I understand we got a lot of wrestlers who are smaller than him and they get away with it. Like Bryan Danielson, he's a small guy, but he's still kind of jacked up. But you
Yeah.
got guys in there like Adam Cole who just look like a dude from next door walking down the street throwing his trash out or something. And I just don't think that's like a TV star. So we asked the chat, do wrestlers' bodies matter? Let us know what y'all think. Because Jade Cargill is out there looking crazy. But we talk about all of these things going on in wrestling right now in AEW,
Yeah.
but we look at the ratings. Right now, they have dipped under 800,000 for 2 weeks in a row. Now, WWE ratings have dropped as well, but WWE can afford to lose those numbers just because they have been, so high. But when AEW is dropping down by to the next 100,000, it gets concerning. Kiddo, do you think they can recover? Because again, the shows are really good right now, and it can take time for them to bounce back. But do you see them getting back up to 900,000? Because I don't know if we're going to hit that a million number too often because we haven't even been doing it when they were hot. But do you see them getting at least back to the 900?
I look at the career of Drew McIntyre. That's like a recent example we can give here. When he lost to Seth Rollins for the third time with that screwy finish where his legs were on the rope or whatever was that, everybody thought that his career was pretty much over. He was going to leave and go to AEW. Then in a matter of weeks, because he changed his creative direction, he started to get back up there. And now we love Drew McIntyre. Right now, especially, is maybe the brightest spot alongside CM Punk in the entire company. And so with enough time and consistently putting on quality shows, I do believe it can happen. It is sad to see, though, that they're not only below 800,000, they were like 703,000 or something like that. Like we're gonna go to 600,000, and that's tough. Drop Rampage right now. Focus on Dynamite. Keep on giving us even more crazy, better storylines. Like make them awesome. Make it the 2 most must-see hours of the week every week for a year, and I have no doubt that they're gonna get back to 900, a million, maybe even push 1,500,000. But it's not gonna be like that. I think they've done for years now a lot of damage to their brand, and what they did with the CM Punk footage was like bad. What they are doing with Jack Perry right now, it's awesome. I love it, but that CM Punk footage, it just wasn't the move, and it really killed it off for a lot of people. Whereas with the Jack Perry stuff and them turning on Tony Khan, the Elite, like I said this in another video, but my friends who never watch AEW or who don't really like it or not interested more than not liking it, they're just not interested. They were like, "Oh, Kero, I saw what happened in that show where they betrayed Tony Khan. That was interesting. I like that. I hope they continue to do more stuff like that." So I think, like I said, lots of damage has been done, but if they consistently get better and better and give us actual storylines alongside, better matches than we see in WWE TV, I mean, there you go. You have your alternative. You have a reason for people to tune in and more people to turn in with newer eyes, arriving each and every single time. So it's sad. It's sad because we need all the competition we can get.
Absolutely.
And hopefully AEW pulls its ish together.
And keeps cooking because they've been cooking the last 2 weeks. Brian, what do you think? What do you see AEW?
Man, I think they got to keep going the way they're going. I think they're on the right road. I just think people need to catch on at this point. I think that right now they're at the point where there was a lot of negative stuff going on, and then it kind of just went down the downward spiral, and now we're kind of just waiting to see what's next. And I think right now, like I said, on the right road because you got to start somewhere. Last week was really low. You're talking about 683K, and that was one of the best endings that we've had for AEW, maybe the best according to Kenny, who's been watching AEW since the very beginning. So I think for me, they just got to keep going on the same road, the same path right now. You on the right path. You got to start somewhere. So right now you got to keep going. So I think that they can get back up there, but you got to keep this pace going. You got to keep these stories going. You got to do what you got to do, man, and just continue what you're doing and stop focusing on the other company. Just keep going. That's all it is for me. I think that they can get those ratings back up.
Yeah, I think they're locked in with the storytelling right now, and just like both of y'all said, they just got to stay on the path they're on right now. But the question in the chat was, do wrestlers' bodies matter? So Goldie Vorman said, Adam, well, hold on. He said something about Bray Wyatt. Let's find it.
Mm-hmm.
No, because people like Bray was a star without being jacked. Yes, Bray was a star, but I think his body and his build kind of held him back because Vince McMahon just did not believe him. I think
At the
that's
same
what
time,
happened. Go ahead.
imagine getting into a fight that looks like Bray Wyatt. For me,
Yeah.
he would just do that to me, flick me away with his finger, and I would die because he's a big boy at the very least.
And so Captain XL says, yes, it does matter. You got to have the illusion. Some people can get away with it, but your very top stars are all jacked. And that's another good point because I don't think Swerve Strickland, as he was in NXT, would be the AEW champion right now. If he went away or whatever and he got his man body, he had a gut for a minute, but then he cleaned it up. And now he does look like he could be a champion. So I think the body does have a lot to do with it.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, Swerve looked like a guy who just turned 20 in NXT. I thought he was super duper young looking, like maybe in his, teens. And now he looks like, like a man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's really, that's what got him where he is today. So I'm going to go ahead and close that poll because I definitely do agree with you guys. Let's see. They went from, nope, we're not going to say that loaded because you're trying to cook them. Raw had 3 million 5 years ago. What's your point? No, you're absolutely right. And that's why I said Raw's ratings or WWE ratings are going down as well, because every year those ratings take a hit where they get lower and lower. It's because people are getting away from cable. Now, WWE is kind of getting ahead of the curve by moving to Netflix. We'll see how that works out for them. But I think it's just the market's changing and ratings aren't going to matter at all within the next few years. So we'll see where they go with that.
Yeah.
But fellas. The next thing I want to talk to y'all about
Backlash.
is something that's coming next Wednesday. And that is Samoa Joe.
Whoa.
AEW Fight Forever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this something you guys care about?
No, not really.
So y'all
thought we were going to talk about Backlash.
Oh, we're going to talk about Backlash, but we got to get a little bit of... Fight Forever comes out next week. We're not back on until next Thursday, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
But
Samoa Joe and what army? What else?
All we know is it's Samoa Joe, and we got this Japanese-looking arena. Not Collision, not the new AEW Dynamite arena. Well, do they got the new arena in there yet, or is this not the? No, they got the last new arena, and they changed it again.
Okay.
I think Lynch he got the new arena in there. I think that's what I'm thinking about. But yeah,
makes sense.
I'm not. I won't say I'm excited because I'm not optimistic. I want to see if they got new match types or anything else in this because we are approaching the 1-year anniversary next month. So they gotta cook, man. They gotta cook. Brian, you just made a video cooking, and what do you think?
Nah, man. I'm not excited whatsoever. I just been touching on it just to see what people think about it, but yeah, nah. I mean, for me personally, I'm all about the CM Punk DLC that we're gonna get in 13 days, man. That's where my head is at personally. So, yeah.
Oh, Loaded said we're not getting new match types in season 4. Season 4 will be the last, buddy. I think it should be the last.
Buddy too?
He said buddy. I think season 4 should be the last season. I think they need to go ahead and start working on the next game. Just because,
the horse is dead and it's rotting. It smells horrible, man. Just
they still
get it away.
Unfortunately, but Brian, you just mentioned CM Punk is coming to WWE 2K. Do we have an official date for that?
May 15th.
May 15th. So that's actually
pretty
not
close.
Too far away.
Yeah.
See, today in the video I made that just won't get processed by YouTube for some reason, I beat CM Punk up again. This time with the final boss. So I can't wait to get the real CM Punk in the game because y'all really gonna have some fun disliking my videos at that point. Kiddo, are you planning on dipping back into 2K24 when the first DLC pack comes out, or are you done with it?
I mean, I'll check out the DLC pack, but other than that, I think I'm pretty much done with it. And I will do sporadic content here and there for sure. And I will use 2K24 footage for related WWE related content as well.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, playing the game, nah. Like I played the My Rise mode, I think, and that was it. And that was when the game came out, basically, whenever that was. So I've had enough of playing Universe mode over the years. I started back in the day playing it in SVR 11, 12. So it's the same mode, or for some people it's even worse now because we lost the randomness of it a little bit. It's just I've never been an online guy, so it's hard to be able to stay on the game. But I'm a big CM Punk fan, unlike you, and I want to see that new GTS animation, his whole everything, the entrance, the victory, what kind of attire he will have. Maybe he'll have more than one. Maybe they'll be kind of cool if they did a throwback 2010 CM Punk in there too. Though I highly doubt that they have the time to do that. And I'm also
long hair.
Yeah, the long hair, Straight Edge Society, maybe ECW Punk. Yeah. If we could have what do you call it? Even through the darkest days. You get the theme song. If we had that.
Yeah, that would be fire.
Ooh,
if not, I just modded in on the PC version, but
I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm also interested in who else is gonna come out with them from the closet. Like who else is there in the DLC? The Dudley Boys, okay.
The Dudley Boys, we're gonna get Terry Funk.
Oh, all right.
Sandman is another big one, and I heard actually I'm not gonna talk about it on here, but yeah, we've heard some stuff about it. So
that's cool.
He's gonna have extra blood or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I saw something on Twitter, but I didn't understand. I just saw him hitting himself from SmackDown versus that was it SmackDown versus Raw 2008?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's
SmackDown versus Raw, yeah. But y'all, that brings me to another question here.
Yeah.
How are y'all enjoying 2K24? Do y'all think this game delivered this year? We've had enough time to live with it. It came out in March? So we're about 2 months in, almost 2 months in. Are y'all happy with 2K24? Do y'all see yourselves playing this for the rest of the year? Or are y'all ready to admit, like I am, that it was kind of 2K23?
Okay. Whose opinion do you want first?
Let's go with you, because you're the 2K man.
Nah, personally, man, I think that the game is still missing a lot. I personally still enjoy the gameplay a lot, and I still play it pretty much a lot. So personally, I don't really have too many bad things to say about it. But if you do watch like any of my YouTube content, you know that I'm very critical on them. Anything wrong that I see, I pick on it and I talk about it. So there's just a couple things that I wish that they would fix. Custom entrances, universe mode sucks. There's just a lot wrong with the game. I'm just really enjoying just the gameplay a lot this year. I think that's where I'm just at. And I think like a lot of it's sort of like how the AEW Fight Forever situation was for a lot of people. They enjoyed the gameplay, but there was just no depth. Just except 2K has depth, but they really haven't nailed that at all with Universe. So that's where I'm sitting at.
That's the question I have. Do they really have depth? Because I'm a single player guy, much like Kiddo. I don't want to play online. What has to be good for me to stay in the game is the single player modes. My faction is annoying. I really wanted to like it, but it's just too much going on. Your Emerald card, your Sapphire card, your weekly towers, your Tuesday towers. This pack gets it's just too much going on in there. It's like a mobile game.
Yeah.
And that's just not for me. My Rise was the same thing again that we had for year after year after year, and I refuse to play it. I try to get in there, but every time I get to the cell phone part, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm at my time is limited during the day now because we're doing a lot, fellas. Y'all know what we got going on, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and play something that I'm not having fun with. I'd rather just play something else. So if 2K had more single player modes, I could see myself enjoying it a lot more because I did a live stream playing with like subscribers, and I had a lot of fun. And I would like to do that more, but I see like that's the only time I would really play it because single player wise, it's just really nothing for me to do. I wish I liked my faction. If I could get in there and there was a mode, kind of like being the elite or beat the elite, like if it was a tower, I can just jump right in and play the tower. I don't have to worry about these cards. I can unlock whatever through that tower. I would get in there and have fun with the matches, but it's just too much in there for me with my faction, so I'm out of it. I did finish, 40 years of WrestleMania they had? I didn't mind that mode much. I actually have fun with it. That's the type of single-player content where I can just turn my brain off and enjoy it. I didn't mind that at all. I know a lot of people didn't like it. The slingshot stuff, I skipped it. Didn't want to see it because it was real-life stuff. But I think they need to focus on single-player stuff next year, like the My Rise, like the Universe mode y'all says. I really can't. I don't understand the love for Universe mode, so that's not for me either. Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be good, man. And I would have played 2K24 a lot more had I known that universe mode would work. Now I watch Brian's videos, I hear you talk about universe mode, and I know how crappy it is and how it can delete my saves, how it can just bug out, crash out. Even when you're trying to do the simple things, the custom attires don't work properly, the lighting, and it's just like the worst thing about it is universe mode takes a hell of a long time to set up and to get everything right. And just setting up one match card, you can sit there for 30 minutes and have, to get everything perfect. And sometimes the match cards didn't, back in the day in 2K19 when I did those, it didn't save, right?
They don't
It didn't
save
properly.
still. They don't save still. You
There
can
you
back
go.
out. You can make the whole match card. Go to community creations because I forgot one cool attire I wanted to see, and put it
Yeah.
on there. And then you'll come back and the match is and the matches are literally scrambled with different opponents. It'll add 8 different matches to the card.
Oh, man.
Man, listen, bro. Universe mode is kind of ridiculous that we still go through this. I will say that I really enjoy the quick pause feature that the Xbox has because I'm able to just turn off the Xbox and come
Right.
back on, and I'm just able to keep it going or start a new game and then just be able to go back to where I was. So that really helps. But yeah,
Mhm.
man, it's not the greatest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that just keeps me away. But if they fix that, I would immediately be more likely to play the game. I would love to make more content on Universe Mode 2 as well. So that'll get me in there. And if they fix the AI when they're going against each other or going against the player, that would be cool too. Like I think AI needs a hell of a lot of adjustments. They need to be more smart, aggressive. We've been basically dealing with the same AI ever since 2015, I think. And just with some little additions, they do more springboards now, which is kudos to 2K for doing that at least, and more dives and stuff. But I think the one thing that I hate for sure is just the rolling out, the incessant amount of rolling out in the game. Every single time you keep either rolling out right to the outside and you fall down, or you stay standing for the outside dives. It just happens so many times every match. If that doesn't happen, you roll out under the third rope, so the AI ends up spearing you in the gut and you fall to the outside anyways. Like, keep it in the ring, man. It doesn't have to be on the outside 24/7, especially when the controls get so finicky with the Irish whip and stuff, which I don't know why they still haven't brought up the instant Irish whip where you don't have to go into a grapple first to Irish whip somebody. That should be back immediately. And so there's a lot of things they can do, but the most important one is to fix universe mode, do a better My Rise, give us a mode, just like we say with AEW Fight Forever, where we can come back single player and find a way to, make us get on that grind, but enjoy it still. And
Right.
yeah.
And not unlock cards that I'm like, what is this? But shout out to Real Take Wrestling before it goes away. Make
Yes,
sure y'all go
sir.
check out Real Take Wrestling for all of your wrestling updates. My boy Omer.
Thanks,
What's
Omer. What's
Now, a few
up?
more things I want to talk about when it comes to 2K. So the what's the status situation? That was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? He just uploaded the final boss, and there are still mods done to him. So it looks like they are still going to let them mod the game, but apparently it's going to be limited. Do y'all have any idea what they aren't going to be able to do? I'm sure the intergender women stuff is
I'll
pretty
tell
much
you.
out of here.
I'll tell you what I can guess and what I think is going to happen. Hidden commentary, hidden theme songs. There was some hidden stuff that he was posting. Like he posted Seth Rollins with the Shield Titantron. That's gone. There's going to be a lot of things that are not going to be allowed. And that's just me assuming based on what I saw today. I saw that his Rock did not have a custom entrance like the one that he posted before he got banned had a custom
Did he
entrance.
have the final boss entrance last time?
Yeah, it wasn't like
That's what I was
the same.
looking
I
for.
wasn't really the same exact one, but with whatever you can do with the game
limitations.
resources,
Yeah.
that was on there. But that's pretty much it. If I had to guess, it's really just the simple stuff like face textures, tattoos, things like that can still be added, but hidden stuff that's not technically supposed to be in the game, that's what's not, or supposed to be gate kept by my faction, like the Shield Seth Rollins stuff like that is what we're not going to be seeing anymore, in my opinion. I think it's more just textures, tattoos, stuff like that.
So
Yeah,
wait,
and
is this exclusive to what's the status? Can anybody else do similar stuff that he's doing? And also,
yeah.
the other people who were banned alongside him, are they unbanned as well?
So Marty M, he was banned. He was never banned. His content, just everything got taken down.
Right.
He
Right.
put it back up, and it never got touched by, and 2K never touched it again. So
Okay.
I assume that he's doing all right, because in reality, he actually wasn't adding anything to the game. The only thing he was doing was putting stuff in restricted areas. Like he would put a Titantron
Right.
where it's technically not supposed to be at. That was pretty
Make
much
a
all he
Waffle
was
House
doing. Right, yeah.
and
Like
a
that's
jail.
yeah, that's all he was doing. It wasn't anything
He
like,
was
oh, he's
cooking.
adding this. Like he was doing some crazy stuff. He
Yeah.
still is. Like
Okay.
he's doing some really good stuff.
Are you really able to download those things, like the Waffle House or the jail he
Yeah.
made? Or
I got his hockey rink on my game.
Ooh,
That's
I
cool.
gotta go check that out.
Yeah.
All right. So the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to 2K is the fact that Visual Concepts put up a job posting and said some interesting stuff is going on at 2K heading into the next generation. So do y'all think this next generation leap finally happens for 2K25?
I don't got no expectations. I'll be honest. Like I think we've already seen 3 years of the same thing in terms of online. Like I'm hoping, only one can hope, if you're going fully next gen, like these servers actually work, and it just shows that you give a damn about the servers that you're putting out there. So to me, that is the main thing. I don't know, if I can't really say that I have like super high expectations. Like, oh, I'm expecting, like, I'm not really expecting anything. I'm hoping that they surprise me, honestly. I'm just so used to the BS of the servers. Like they've been so bad for so many years, and nothing has been done to fix them.
Well, the job posting did say something about working on servers.
Okay.
Like if you clicked on a link, it told you what you had to be required to do, like a job application.
Right.
And it did refer to something about the server. So I don't know if they're planning on rebuilding the servers, making them brand new or stronger or what. But I think next gen is going to be a pretty big leap. And maybe we got all of this stuff in the game this year, because just like 2K15, they're going to strip it down next year. Like, here's your new WWE 2K25 next generation, brand new, bare bones, deal with it. But I mean, would y'all accept that if the universe mode is completely rebuilt from the ground up, as well as whatever story mode they're going to go with next time?
I just don't see them adding all this gameplay stuff to then strip it all away at 1 year after. I think because they just built this engine. I think the more I can see is maybe some graphic overhaul. Like the game looks great. I think more like clipping, stuff like that, like your belts clipping and going through your jackets. That needs to be fixed from a graphic standpoint. If you give me, I'll be honest, based on everything they did this year, if you can give me the game with universe mode fixed and that it actually works, it has promos, it has storylines, it has a bunch of all this stuff, and online servers that work, I'd be happy. I'll be honest. Like if they can give me just a freaking mode that works, like to me, that's just where I'm at, bro. Like it just don't work. I got to do everything.
I don't know. I'm scared.
Bring back create a story.
Yeah, create a story would be fire. I would like
It's going to be bad though. If you think image uploader is bad, those stories are going to be crazy.
I mean, were they crazy back then though, bro? I can't remember.
Did it get crazy?
I personally like them though. Like I used to
crazy?
download them. I think this guy's name was like Ryan or something. He had like some of the craziest storylines. Like they were good storylines. It was fun.
Yeah,
people would go crazy. But I mean, whatever. You know, just do some rudimentary checks and filtering, and you'll be fine.
I do remember you couldn't say any bad words though. They'll feel like they literally put asterisks on it back then. So yeah.
For the most ridiculous stuff too, like even if it's maybe slightly potentially offensive, it would get stars. And here's the thing with create a story, but the way they did it, you know, back then, well, you can't put anything in the game yourself anyways besides the wrestler. So, you know, you'd be cool, right? All the stuff that people could use would be created by 2K anyway. So I wouldn't imagine they would create any explicit content for their game, which if they want to sell it extra, maybe. I don't know. But man, like the next gen thing doesn't excite me, number one, because of what happened when we got to PS2 to PS3 and then PS3 to 4. It's just like PS2 to PS3.
Xbox.
What you gonna do? It's just like nothing happened, you know? Just like we got better graphics for sure. And same happened with the next gen after, you know, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Better graphics, okay. But in both times, we had all the game modes kind of stripped. They started from the beginning. And right now, I just don't see that really happening unless they go for a brand new engine with better physics, better everything, better animations, like just a game that feels better to play. I don't see our next gen update being, I hope it isn't, they might go that lazy route, being about graphics at this point. Because what is going to be the jump? I mean, you look at the PS4 games and the PS5 games. What is the difference graphically? I don't think there's that many. There's like a crazy amount of difference. Like,
Because they're still
which
hanging
is
on
why
to
I
the
think they haven't
PS4.
made the leap yet in terms of
yeah,
like
Yeah.
because
No.
you look at the PC version and the next gen version, and PC is still old gen. It's the
yeah.
same exact game, dog. Like I'm like, why did I get? We're 5 years into the cycle of the PlayStation and the Xbox. Why did I upgrade? Y'all giving me the same exact game you giving other people that still haven't bought the consoles.
Yeah, I think it's because they still have it on PS4, PS3. They're just building up on those engines or whatever. Like
Yeah, okay.
you could completely rebuild the game for next gen, but then you're still going to have to work on last gen as well. So they only got a year. That's the big excuse a lot of people cling to. So I think they're just going with that PS4 version or whatever and just kind of sprucing it up a little bit to be next generation.
Then again,
So we still haven't seen an Xbox Series X or a PS5 like style wrestling game.
Then again, though, I gotta disagree because when they built this engine, next gen was already out. So they had to build this engine knowing, hey, this is what we're using on Series X and PS5.
Yeah,
When you
because
see
like,
next gen games that don't come on last gen consoles, those are the true next gen games because they're
I'm not disagreeing
we're
with
gonna
you.
push this as far as we can.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the issue. Just out of my experience when I played NBA 2K, when they did the big jump to next gen, they actually next gen actually had a different engine, and last gen had a different engine. So it was two completely different engines, but they just ran with the same engine when they rebuilt 22's engine and just put it on both. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's actually like it's very just there's just a capacity to what you can do on this server, and I think that last gen is just holding it back like big time.
Yeah. Do you know if they had a different team work on the last gen version that year, or did the same team do both?
Different teams.
Yeah,
and
that's what they usually do.
NBA?
Like
for NBA, yeah. And from what I've heard, WWE 2K team, they don't have like a huge team, and I think we pretty much know them by faces at this point. They show face everywhere, so that's the only thing. I think it's really one small team, man, that is making this all happen. Not to excuse whatever they've messed out on or dropped the ball on, but I'm just hoping that we can get something soon because we're being held back, bro. I'll be honest. I didn't spend $500 on each console just to sit here and play PS4 games.
You know what else is? Who else is doing similar sentence, saying the same thing? The owners of Netflix. They're saying we didn't spend $5 billion for you to make these games. I'm not gonna say the other thing. And Netflix, like, sometimes they do their own games. They had that interactive Sami Zayn thing going on, and everybody loved it. Like, they said the WWE game should look like this. So maybe, like, the WWE going on Netflix, more people watching, so more money coming into the business. So maybe 2K gets a bigger team. Maybe the game goes ahead and gets sold to another company or like a publisher in the coming years. But yeah, just the next gen thing, I seriously cannot think of it again as graphically. I want to see 18, not 18, but I don't know what's the max number. It'd be cool if it could like put in 30 wrestlers for the Royal Rumble mode or something like that, or at least 10 wrestlers, 12 wrestlers. That'd be cool. You said, Brian, less clipping issues. I would like to see better hair.
Definitely need better hair.
That kind of stuff. Just mechanically a better working, better feeling game.
The belts would be cool. Some of the belts look like crap, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but
that's true. They don't look gold. They look
bronze, dog. Bronze. I don't know if you've seen the World Heavyweight Championship, the new one. It looks broken when you see the stuff, bro. Listen, man, I could go on and on about some of the flaws in this game.
But we'll see, man. It's tough to guess.
For me, hopefully they go next gen only and give us an actual good upgrade next year, but we're going to have to wait till next year to find out. What we won't have to wait until next year to find out about is Backlash, which is on Saturday. There's the
made it.
card we have. So just off the top of your brain, kiddo, just looking at this card, what do you think?
Off the top.
Off the top.
Well, what's the sixth card doing there? It just says Backlash France.
Oh, I'm not sure what that's doing there, but yeah, I put this together, man. I got this.
No,
on
I
X.
know. Yeah, the guy who did the left image is like, oh, I got to put something there. And I
What
said,
are we gonna do?
yeah.
Just advertise it again. Brian, what do you think about the card?
Hey,
Whoa.
man, I'm thinking right now. Oh, I'm thinking right now, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit on the short side, bro. 5 matches. I don't know how they're gonna extend that to 3 hours. I'll be completely honest with y'all.
That's gonna be 3 hours. Jeez.
I mean, I
SmackDown is
assume maybe
tomorrow
2 hours and a half, maybe, because sometimes they go under the what the
Yeah.
projected time is. But 5 matches, man. Sheesh. They could have added like a Sami Zayn match in there or something.
Yeah.
But SmackDown is tomorrow night. It's not too late. I think they might throw some more stuff on there.
I hope so, but I don't know. They've been building this up. We definitely not getting Sammy because Raw happened already, and we ain't get him added. So, hey.
But you know what? People complain about the long cards all the time. I don't mind a short, digestible card.
Oh, I don't mind it neither. I just think 5 matches is really short, especially when you're going to an international country. Because at this point, I'm not even worried about like just myself. I'm more worried about those people that, spent $200-$300 to get in there, barely get a PLE or a WWE show, and you're getting 5 matches, But if the pay-per-view delivers in every single match, because at this point, when it's 5 matches, you got to pray every match delivers, bro, because if one match is mid, that completely throws off the pay-per-view. Because you're talking about maybe 3 good matches out of the 5.
We got a
Raw,
bunch of examples, though, about that. Takeovers back in the day. Those were 2 hours, but those are some of the best 2 hours I've ever spent. So they can pull off a show like that. I'm sure all of us and everybody in France will leave pretty satisfied.
Yeah. But if we look at the quality of the matches, though, AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, I expect AJ Styles to carry Cody Rhodes to a good match. But are they predictable? Let's go ahead and get our predictions in. Let's start off with the Bloodline match. So we got Kevin Owens and Tama Tonga making his WWE debut against. I need the card, Brian.
Randy Orton and Solo Sikoa. Yeah. So
who do y'all think wins this match? What do y'all think about how this feud has been so far?
This has been good, man. Besides Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, this is the only feud we got going with an actual story. And I love Tama Tonga. I've always kept up with him in New Japan. And I always thought that each time, because I watch just a couple of matches of his every year, every time I go back to seeing him, I'm like, oh, this guy probably sucks now. He's getting too old. No, but he just keeps on getting buffer and he has great matches. And this is going to be his first match. And I think the way they presented him from the very beginning has been very good. They're building up as a star. And I think besides The Rock and Roman Reigns, I think it's right now the best Bloodline member anyways. Best in the ring, the best in on the mic when he gets on the mic, hopefully, finally. He's just more charismatic than Solo Sikoa too. And he's getting closer to his 40s. So he's had a lot more experience and time to do this. So it's understandable. But yeah, I really like him just because of that alone. I do want to see this match. Also, I know Tama Tonga's finisher is a version of an RKO, basically. A gun stun. So I wonder... I think they're going to make him change it. And so I want to see what's his new move going to be. Will it suck? Will it absolutely suck? And yeah, it's just that the only thing I don't like here is that Randy, man. What is Randy doing here? Go to the main event. Win a main event championship. You know what I mean? They're just wasting him.
But I would say I wouldn't want to see Randy in the main event of this one just because the build wasn't too big. You don't want to blow Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. I think that you can get a few months out of that. So.
Few months, damn. That's crazy.
Cody Rhodes kind of crazy.
But yeah, my prediction is the newcomer. I mean, it is likely that Randy could win with Kevin Owens, but I think Tama Tonga, this is his first match. It'd be crazy if he lost.
I agree.
Yeah, and then Kevin Owens, he always eating pins, so I think he's going to be the guy getting pinned in this match. Brian, you got anything to add to this one?
No, I mean, I agree with Kero. This is another match where Kevin Owens takes the pin and we move on.
Oh, damn.
This right now, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga. I mean, hey, it's going to be a good one. I think that this is a good match. We had a little bit of build to it, especially with Kevin being attacked. personally, I like it. This is probably
Mm.
the best built match on the card, if I'm being honest.
You're
So
probably
I
right.
think you're right. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The chat says
Wow.
Bloodline's going to win this one 100%.
No
But the
Justin
next one,
Fatu on the chat?
what'd you say?
Justin Fatu? Jacob Fatu?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Jacob Fatu?
I
Jacob
got-
Fatu.
I got something
debut.
else for that.
Justin Fatu. I think we're more likely to see Justin Fatu pop up there.
Okay. Very nice.
But the next one, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Damage Control. This one's been going on for a few months, right?
Yeah.
So this is a pretty long build behind this one.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a tough match. Who's gonna win that one?
Yeah, it's a tough decision, right? Bianca Belair is going to be in this match pretty much 90% of it. Jade Cargill will probably come in, hit a finisher, and get the pin. So I think we absolutely see Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair walk out here as champions. Brian, what do you think?
100%, man. This is something that we've predicted months ago too, bro. I'm kind of happy that this has come to fruition. So yeah, I'm a fan of this. Hopefully, with it being 5 matches, one can only hope that they let Jade show out this pay-per-view. At least let me get 7-8 minutes of some ring time with Jade.
Right,
bro.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? It's definitely not gonna happen, but only one can hope. I'm excited. I get some gold on Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. Let them rock out. Let them go all the way to Royal Rumble, bro, and let them turn on each other. And
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think right now they got to keep Jade with Bianca as long as they possibly can string this on for, and then you have Jade turn on Bianca, and then we get Jade and Bianca WrestleMania 41, and that's what it is, bro. I think she'll be ready by then. So I think
like
it's a good
it,
one.
but you know what? I would have
said.
Bianca turn on Jade.
Oh, you want heel
Rock it,
Bianca?
shake it up.
Oh boy.
Come on, she's
Shake it up.
John Cena.
I'm not
She's
gonna lie,
John
bro.
Cena.
I'm
She's
not gonna lie
turning
though,
heel.
bro. That would
right,
be
she
the
is.
ultimate like switch up. Cause right now everybody's thinking if anybody's gonna turn, it's gonna be Jade. But if Bianca does it, that'd be cold. I ain't gonna lie.
Because think about it. If they're having the match or whatever, and Jade Cargill slips on a banana peel and gets pinned, Bianca could be like, "This is your fault. You ruined our WrestleMania moment." She turns on her, hits her with that elbow. Boom. Now Jade Cargill is a sympathetic babyface going into WrestleMania, which I think she's more of a heel. So you know what?
Go.
Hey,
You just destroyed your own point. I don't think she can be a babyface.
you don't think
And
Jade could be a babyface?
Bianca is perfect as a face. Yeah,
Perfect.
she doesn't need to turn heel at all. It has worked for him for years and years, and if it's working, why fix it?
But they said the same thing about John Cena. If it's working, why change it?
Oh no,
John Cena needed that heel run. I think that left a damp, like a dark spot on his career. The fact that he didn't go heel when he kind of teased it. He said he had his heel music made and everything, but he never went that route.
They had it after I think he lost to The Rock or something like that. Apparently,
Yeah,
Vince literally scrapped it like same day or something like that. Like they had his music,
I mean-
everything. They had gear, all types of stuff, bro. I'm like, damn, what we could have missed out on.
Would you say the same thing about Jade, not Jade, but Bianca right now, as you would say to Cena? Because I 100% agree with Cena.
People started turning on Bianca though. I think that's why they got the belt off of her, because people were turning on her because they were like, "We're getting the same thing, Bianca."
I think she's okay right now. I don't think she needs the heel turn.
She doesn't need it, but why not? Make it legacy, you know? She hasn't really had that monster heel run. She had her heel run back when she was just starting off, but on the main roster, I think she's really good, and I think she could pull it off.
Bianca as a heel, though, bro, I just don't see it, man. I think I would enjoy it because Bianca can actually talk on the mic if they let her. I just, I don't know. She's cool. I'm more just like her because she's herself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something. You don't think she's
they
herself?
They gotta put on the black girl gimmick. I don't think that's.
You don't think, bro? I mean, I've seen her on like reality shows, bro. That's how she acts.
Me too.
What broke her from me was one of the scripts for her leaked against like a Becky Lynch, and word for word, she was just saying everything in the script like a robot. She was just reading it out. And she's like a very, like Kenny says, super generic, super stereotypical, I think. Yeah, and that's
a stereotypical black girl that she plays. Like you don't see black girls acting like that really. She's just turning it up to 1,000,000. And I mean, it's fine for a gimmick, whatever. That's what they do. She plays it well, so
It's the problem is, when not Scott, but what's his face? Drew McIntyre played the Scottish warrior and he was just leaning into him being Scottish and a warrior instead of what he's doing right now. That's the problem.
Right.
Bianca needs to be more herself, like Drew McIntyre is being.
I agree. Jade Cargill, I feel like she's herself though.
Yeah, more so.
They don't really give her too much time,
she
though,
wasn't
bro.
in AEW.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
they
I don't know
haven't.
because. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw her on, I think it was Cody Rhodes show or something backstage, and she was like acting nice and like timid.
Right,
She was
right.
scared to talk to people. So I mean, I think she might be putting it on too.
Her promo wasn't that good though. There was one that when she got introduced,
Not great.
it was it was like it wasn't good, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, she's not great. She's not a great promo.
Yeah, she's
It feels like
they can hide
She's
that.
still new though.
No, it's new and it's something that WWE actively works on with promos. But like, if they can't get that right, bro, just play to her strengths and hide it. Because like I knew off rip, like she's not confident on what she's saying, or it looks like that. Like she looks like a very confident woman, but on the mic, it was just like I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling the storm.
Wait, who are we talking about here? Are we talking about Jade Cargill or Mercedes Moné? Because we're saying the same things.
Yikes.
Very
all right,
similar.
what do we got next up on the card, Brian?
Yeah.
Let's go on ahead and get this over here. We got Bayley, Tiffy time, and Naomi. What the word is on this, man? Come on.
WWE, you bury Bayley so much. Just put the strap on Tiffy time. Let's do it.
I think Naomi going to go out ahead and eat that pin. Tiffy time going to stay protected. Me personally, I need a Money in the Bank run with Tiffy time on it. The briefcase, everything would fit her, man. And that's what it is. I think Tiffany Stratton is most definitely the next WWE Women's Champion, bearing no injuries to Bayley or whatever the case is, or Tiffy time at that. But I just think they got some in the bag with Tiffy time, man. I'm hyped when I see her. She doing her thing. She could wrestle. She could talk. Hey, man, I like it.
Talk commentary when she's not on the mic and she's just throwing him around.
Yeah, man, I like it.
It's time. Like, relax.
Yeah, this match I think goes to Bayley too. It feels like the Roman Reigns match in the sense that the only reason why they made this multi-woman is so Bayley can just get away with a dirty tactic and win by chance and get out of there.
So is Bayley still a heel?
Face.
Oh, okay.
So you know, it's gonna be circumstantial more than a dirty tactic. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think all of us agree. Chat agrees. Bayley about to take this W. If y'all got any other options, let us know.
Lost.
Right
no, I don't think
Naomi's definitely not going to win.
Yeah, we're getting one title change tomorrow. That's not. Go ahead.
No, you said we should see a title change tomorrow.
I think we're gonna get one title change tomorrow, and that's Bianca and Jade.
Yeah. Well, don't blow your final picks, Brian. All right, so let's go to the next one. We got AJ Styles and we got Cody Rhodes. Have we heard anything about Cody Rhodes' shoulder? Because he did bump pretty nasty on SmackDown.
Nah, it looks like he's good.
But he gave kind of a work answer though. Somebody asked him if he was good after that spot. He was like, always good or something like that.
No, I think he's all right. I think the dirt sheets would have got some on him already if that was the case.
Nah, Triple H's keeping that under wraps. Bro, don't tell nobody. You go to the doctor and don't tell nobody else. But who y'all got for this one? Cody Rhodes or AJ Styles? What is the percentage of a chance for AJ Styles to take this, kiddo?
Not even 0.1.
Not even 0.1? Say Cody Rhodes gets injured or something. He's like, bro, listen, I know this is bad. You got to just take this. Pin me.
Do you believe your own words?
I do not. I do not.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just trying to ask. Cody Rhodes absolutely wins this match.
It looks
We're
like
gonna go ahead and end that poll with 5 votes. And last but most certainly not least, because I think this one is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Jey Uso versus Zesty Taker, Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Who wins this match, Brian?
I think Damian Priest wins, and I think that Jacob Fatu is gonna make his debut in this match, and this is gonna start the Revolutionary Civil War Part 2 of the Bloodline. I think that Jacob Fatu will not come out in the match against Randy and KO. I think he's gonna make his debut right here. So I'm excited to see that. And yeah, I just don't see Jay winning, man. Even though I would like to see it, I really would, but it's not gonna happen.
Kiddo.
Yeah, especially if they put this in the main event with Cody being the last, which since he's in the poster, I think Cody will be the main event with AJ. I don't know if I wanted to debut Jacob, it would be better if they were like at the very end of the show, kind of like the Solo Sikoa situation. But man, with Damian Priest, with the Zest Machine being the champion, it just doesn't feel as big as the Roman Reigns or the Bloodline stuff. So, I mean, I can still see them doing it, but regardless if they do it or not, regardless of what happens, I don't see Jey Uso winning. It's just he doesn't have it. He's not cut from the cloth of a champion, and his yeet thing. It's gonna get annoying quite soon, just like the Seth Rollins in the song saying "whoa" all the time.
Yeet.
Yeah, and he's doing it a little bit too much. Like last time he came out on SmackDown, he had yeet on his glasses, on his freaking pants, on his T-shirt, everywhere, and it's just like chill, bro, because he cannot back it up in the ring. He had the worst WrestleMania match in the ring, and then it's just like. In general, when he wrestles, I don't think he takes it too seriously. He's doing that dance move where his opponent has to like stand here and look at him, finish his gesturing for 5 minutes. And his moveset is very limited.
Damn,
so
Kiro's
much so that
Jey Uso, bro.
I know. Like when he added the spear, it's like we're going crazy. Oh my god, finally a different move than a super kick. It's just I just don't see it in him. He's a lucky break, and I think with the tool set he is doing the best. Like, and he's taking as much advantage of it as he absolutely can. But I would like to see him improve on everything in his character work, in his in-ring work, and then maybe he will get to that extra level. But like I said, man, when I say the bloodline, I know he's not in the bloodline right now in the faction itself. I just see Tama Tonga as the guy. Like if Tama Tonga won the championship, I'd be okay with it. But with Jay. Because they picked him number one, I'm sure he's going to be in the draft. He's going to be really strong in this match. I just don't see him losing the title or winning the title from Damian, though. Just not happening. Because also, Damian just got the title on his shoulder. So, yeah. And it looks like they might separate him from the Judgment Day. I'm not sure. Rhea Ripley, is she separated from the Judgment Day? Like, the draft was all weird about that. So, yeah. I just see Damian taking it.
I don't know. You know what, fellas? We got 80% Damian Priest and 20% Jey Uso in the chat. I'm going with the 20%. Crazy prediction, but why would they draft Jey Uso number one is what I don't understand. I know he's your number one contender, but that's kind of making me feel like they want him to be more than he is right now. So honestly, I would not be surprised if Jey Uso takes it, and I am going Jey Uso in this match. I think Damian Priest may be our transitional champion. We know they had to get that Money in the Bank out of his hands. How long do we see Damian Priest actually having a title run? Who takes it from him? I think if you do that, why not do it with Jey Uso, especially if you're going with this whole Bloodline Civil War feud? Because you got Solo Sikoa and you got what's the other guy's name? Tama Tonga on the other side.
Yeah.
Jey Uso right now is by himself. I imagine when Jimmy Uso's injury clears, he's going to join Jey Uso. But I don't think Jacob Fatu, I don't think he even joins the SmackDown guys. I think he's going to join Jey Uso.
Really?
Because Jey Uso needs somebody if he's going to have, like, if it's a civil war, Jey Uso has to have somebody on his side as well.
Don't forget Jimmy.
So you think it's going to be Jimmy, Jay, and Roman Reigns?
I think we're going to get OG Bloodline versus New Era Bloodline.
It makes sense.
That's cool. That's a whole lot of ways they can
Jay
go.
has always wanted to forgive Jimmy. We saw it at Mania. He went in for a hug. Jay went ahead. Yeah, let's hug. Who's to say that he doesn't forgive him again? That's just the only thing that I could see is Jacob Fatu comes in, costs Jay the championship, and Jimmy Uso comes out, saves Jay, leaves us in a little storyline there with Jay trying to like put everything together, and then they come back and end up together on the same team.
Yeah, so when you say the OG Bloodline, you mean Roman Reigns is going to turn face too? He's gonna realize his mistake.
I think Roman turns face, bro. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa is the new tribal chief,
Mm.
based on what I'm hearing and based on what I'm seeing. Like, you see Paul Heyman, he's like, "What is going on, bro? These aren't the orders." And Tama Tonga
Right.
is saying, "Oh, these are the tribal chief's orders. They obviously not Romans. Tell you that much."
And I think that's why you keep Roman Reigns out of the draft, because if you said Roman Reigns is drafted to Monday Night Raw,
would've
then it's
gave it all
obvious that
away.
He's siding with those guys.
Yeah.
So I think when Roman Reigns comes back, he will be on Monday Night Raw. He will be with Jey Uso. And when that happens, Jey Uso should be the champion. Why not? Jey Uso's the champion. You got a title in the bloodline, because we know the guys on SmackDown aren't going to have one.
Yeah.
So
No, it's not a bad case at all. Yeah.
I
Jey
say
Uso could
go with
win.
it, you know?
I
But
see it.
man, you're gonna make a point on this match, Brian?
No point on this
Yeah.
match.
You said I could see it. Okay, that's what you said.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, as a final thing for this Backlash thing, regardless of what happens in this pay-per-view, I'm excited about the crowd itself, because I remember France giving like a monster reaction to Baron Corbin and making a simple match, like a house show match, absolutely amazing. So if the crowd is good, regardless of what kind of storytelling we get, at least we're gonna be able to enjoy the show. And with this being on France, and I don't remember watching a WWE show in France, like a legit pay-per-view show, ever. So that's exciting in and of itself. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Great.
They're going to say, Je suis m'appelle, je suis ma. So are we doing a live stream? What's going on?
No, what?
You okay,
Saturday.
Kenny?
We'll be here.
I know,
I
man.
mean, yeah, I'll be here.
Well, we'll
Hey,
talk
if
about
you're
it
here-
if we do a live stream. But if we are doing a live stream and you don't got Peacock, channel members can watch in Discord with us. And if y'all want to jump off the microphone, or if y'all want to jump on the microphone and talk about the show after the matches go off, then yeah, we can do that as well. So channel members, if y'all are watching Backlash, or if you don't have Peacock and you want to watch Backlash, join us on the channel on Saturday, and we will be cooking.
Yes, sir.
Fellas, do y'all got anything else to say before we get up out of here?
Nope.
We gotta get out of here, man. You're breaking down.
I'm breaking down. Am I turning into a robot, or just coughing and wheezing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go get some allergy medicine. But
Shout out to Justin Fatu, my boy. I know you're going to show up at Backlash.
Go.
Shouts out to you.
we're gonna catch y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe.
Peace out.
See y'all Saturday.
Peace.